Um, so next question. What would be your go-to scripture passage to share with someone who is fixated on the continuation of the healing gifts and thinks we shouldn't be calling out Todd White for healings?
Go-to passage. I mean, there's a number that we could go to. I mean, there's so many arguments for cessationism. You look at the nature of miracles. The purpose of signs and wonders was to authenticate the apostles in their apostolic authority and what they were teaching. We have no need for those signs and wonders anymore. That has already been authenticated. It's already been canonized. We have the prophetic word more sure. So there's no need for apostolic signs and wonders today. For one thing, there's no more apostles today. There are no more apostles, period, in the capital A sense. That office is closed. There's 3 requirements to meet to be a true apostle of Christ. And nobody today meets even one of those requirements, much less all 3. Todd White, to say that Todd White is performing signs and wonders, I mean, that's like comparing what Todd White does with his stupid leg lengthening routine when he goes out on the streets and lengthens people's legs by about that much.
Yeah.
To compare that to an apostolic sign and wonder would be like comparing a big lighter to the sun. I mean, it's just, there is no comparison. He's not doing, when the apostles did a sign and wonder, everyone around it, that nobody could deny that a sign had happened. Nobody could deny that a miracle had happened. Nobody could deny that that lame man was now running like a deer. Nobody could deny that the dead were being raised. I can absolutely deny that Todd White is going around lengthening people's legs. It's a trick. It's been exposed. He's a farce. Yeah. So, and 2, I kind of lost train of
what verse?
What verse? There's a number of things. For one, when you go chronologically through the New Testament, signs and wonders, miracles, faded out pretty quickly. After the year AD 58, there were no more miracles that were performed. The healings on the island of Malta were the last ones, AD 58, then no more. Paul does reference gifts of tongues, a gift of tongues and gift of interpretation of tongues, healings in his letter to the Corinthians. But in later letters, for example, Romans chapter 12, when he talks about spiritual gifts, there's no mention of the apostolic gifts. Paul wrote to Timothy, take a little wine for your stomach and your frequent ailments. Paul didn't heal him. He had performed other healing miracles. He did not heal Timothy. In 2 Timothy, Paul was with Trophimus, was with him in person, and he left him sick. He didn't heal him. He didn't lay hands on him, didn't give him a prayer handkerchief, anointed cloth or anything like that. He left him sick. So even when you go chronologically through the New Testament, there's interesting internal evidence that even by that time, even when the apostles were still around, that those sign gifts were already fading away and had passed out of operation.
Yeah. And to the person who asked that question, I would add, be careful trying to win a theological argument with one verse. Usually when you want to give an answer, you want to give a full picture answer like Justin just gave. There's no such thing as just cherry picking a verse and saying, here, I won the argument. It's usually full picture. Mm-hmm. So in search for one verse, I'd say look at the Bible entirely and get your answer that way and compare it to what we see with people like Todd White today.